So that's why you see they make the Hippocratic Oath, because that Hippocratic Oath just goes directly to the Apollo, which is nothing but Apollyon, Lucifer. And then the Hippocratic Oath, the hippo, is just representing the behemoth as well, the big beast. That's why the whole theme agenda is to do no harm. The first rule is to do no harm, because to do no harm is doing no harm to them parasites. They don't want people understanding it's killing them, destroying the temples of God, and that torture them hell. That's why in Mark 9:44, where the worm dieth not and the fire is not quenched. You know, it's very important. That's why they love to have the travel nurse thing going on. It's a big trend. Then you got the flight attendants, because that whole thing, they already know they want them on the planes, because, you know, that's very important, because in 1 Thessalonians 4:17, and we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we forever be with the Lord. They know the Exodus is coming. You see what I'm saying? They already know it's coming by the planes. So it's very important. You know, they want to worship the serpent on the pole. You know, Lucifer on the left-hand side, you know, in the scriptures, remember as it says, Moses raised up the serpent on the pole. You know, so must the Son of Man be lifted up. But remember, Israel always had a problem with idolatry, so they rather worship the image of the serpent on the pole than worship God in heaven, you know. So that's why you see in 2 Kings 18:4, and he removed the high places and break the images and cut down the groves and break them in pieces, the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehashatan, which just means Satan. You see, it's very important. So as it's written, in that day there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and it should be for a sign and for witness unto the Lord of hosts, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. So the top of the altar is measured at 76 degrees, which foreshadows the kingdom to come. So when you understand what went on, the altar stand 5,776 inches. The 5 is for the 5th day, the 7th for the 7th month, and then the 76 for the 1976 birthday, July 5th, 1976 date of birth of the Messiah. That's why July 4th they send their fireworks up to heaven, because they want to war against heaven. They didn't want him to return July 5th, 1976. They want to have their independence and do what thou wilt. So, you know, once 1976 came, that's when that 1,000 years reign really began, because Messiah, you know, he has to live a human life, and things are fulfilling. A lot of things are happening with the Holy Kingdom of Judah. You know, it's already recognized and already established. So now they already know the 1,000 year reign really already began once he came back to the earth. So that's why they already know they're getting close to that time where Satan going to be cast off that altar, which is just Barack Obama in the flesh. Lucifer, you know, dwelleth in the Antichrist, which is Barack Obama in the flesh. That's why he says we don't need a Messiah. And that's why he said he was Daniel Day-Lewis, because the prophet Daniel said that the Antichrist, you know, will rise up in his time and he would be a false Lewis. That's why Obama said he's the Daniel Day-Lewis. It's very important. It's not hard to understand once you know what's really going on. But that's why it says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan should be loosed out of his prison, because once the 1,000 year reign is fulfilled, you know, Satan gonna rise up again to try to war against the saints of God. When the kingdom is already obviously gonna be way fulfilled before then, but you know, it's already Exodus is getting closer and closer. So that's why in 2 Esdras 7:28-30, for my son the Messiah shall be revealed with those who are with him, and those who remain shall rejoice 400 years. And after these years, my son the Messiah shall die, and all who draw human breath. So you know he will be a human. You see what I'm saying?